saying out loud. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. Pastor Evan here, and I'm here to say, don't masturbate, no, not today, unless you like Satan, because he'll support masturbation, and of course, any sexual derangements, like being with the girl. Yuck, fool, you should only come to Sunday school. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Get this shit off the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. You know what they call me around here? One take Lopez. Bars, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to Wednesday. What am I wearing for you here? Well, I'm wearing a nice little floral button-up shirt for you because your boy's feeling sexy, okay? And listen, this is something I preach all the time. Feeling sexy is a state of mind, okay? Confidence is a state of mind. You know what the sexiest thing a woman can wear? Confidence. Confidence, okay? Wasn't a joke, but it still hits. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Weird. Wednesday is what I was trying to say. By the way, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I just get in that zone for rhyming, and I just get going with it, okay? It's Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming in weird on a Wednesday. That's what we get. And we get getting on a Wednesday. Enough with the shenanigans, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It's your first time here. Welcome. It's great to have you. Listen, the podcast always growing like a 16-year-old kid in Sunday school who was feeling real troubled. Things are real complicated at that age. Okay, you aren't thinking about anything. You ever, me as a ripe old man, okay, kind of weird. If I ever talk to a 16-year-old, I know what is on the mind. You ever seen like something like you ever been talking to someone and you're just seeing it go in one ear and out the other? They got one thing on their mind, okay? It's fucking TikTok. It's fucking hitting the gym with the boys, and it's masturbation. That's all you should be focused on, okay? Because we don't need any of these 16-year-olds out there running around the world amok, all pent up, okay? The best thing you can do is let the fucking steam out of that pressure cooker, okay? You may make some bad decisions at 16 if you're not letting the steam out of that thing, all right? So keep on keeping on, young kings, okay? From an elder, okay? Keep on keeping on. Don't let them shame you, okay? Don't let them shame you in the church groups, the life groups, everything. Use your imagination, okay? Sometimes you got to go to the Willy Wonka factory and just try to use your imagination like fucking Walt Disney, and you got to make it up your mind. What I'm saying, go easy on the tools at your disposal on the internet. Shit can get a little weird. Even when you're older. I have friends who are just like, they come around and I'm like, what's going on, man? And I'm like, oh, you've been in the dark parts of the internet. I can see it in your eyes, son. You need to go stare at a forest, maybe throw a fishing pole out into a river, see where it takes you in life. Okay? You got to disconnect from what you think is going on the internet. You get too deep in them porns out there on the internet. You start doing some weird shit. You start putting a leg up when you're having sex. Like, who am I doing this for right now? Why am I feeling like I'm performing right now for someone? Like you're just envisioning that someone is watching this from the side angle, or perhaps a POV, okay? People talking about VR and everything. Just do the real thing. How about that? Before you get lost in some fucking ones and zeros, fucking Elon Musk studying you, going, interesting, as he's watching it. You know Elon Musk is behind it all. Sorry, Elon. I know you're trying to do the right thing. The thing that I don't get about Elon Musk, listen, I'm pretty good at reading people, at being able to see what's going on. Elon Musk is very smart, okay? But I think he came out at the right time in life. And I don't mean like came out like Kevin Spacey when he tried to come out at the right time in his life. Remember when he was getting accused of Me Tooing someone? And he was just like, I'm gay. And everybody, like, he threw it out there like it was going to be his fucking expectro patronus. And he was just like, I'm gay. Expecto, I like Mendo. And everybody was like, yeah, we know the guy who you meet. It was a guy that you Me Too'd. And he's like, all right, I'll stop looking at the camera in fucking House of Cards and just disappear for a while. That's the thing about fucking Kevin Spacey, though. That man can act his dick off. You know? Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's why he was going after men on sets, because he was like, hey, I acted my dick off in this fucking episode. Can I have yours? You know? He's just an older guy who doesn't know how to hit on people. That's what the real problem is here. You remember when you'd be like, I lost my number. Can I have yours? Stupid. Before I lose this Elon Musk thing, I have to go through something that I did that was similarly corny. When I was a freshman in high school, hung out with this group of people, as people do. And one of the favorite things to do during lunch is I would just go up to random girls and ask them if it hurt. Did it hurt? And the girls would be like, what? When you fell from heaven? And then I'd be like, hi, I'm Evan. How you doing? So stupid. And let me be honest with you. Young kings. It worked a lot because I was genuine with it. Because some of those girls were angels. Okay? But it's the greatest icebreaker. Something casual like that. Don't be fucking cool. Don't try to be cool with girls. Don't try to be anything else other than what you are, because all that shit's just going to go away anyway. Okay? After they realize you're not as cool as you were fucking 2 weeks ago, they're going to be bored with it. And that's okay. It's fucking high school. Okay? You're all pent up. But Elon Musk, let's get back to that. Elon Musk. He came out at the perfect time in his existence. It was like lightning striking, because it was during a time we really loved Iron Man. We really loved Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. Now, if he came out Me Too and Men, I wouldn't be surprised, because that man acted his dick off as well. Okay? He embodied Iron Man, and maybe that was another lightning strike where he was just made for that role. And when it came to him, he was the perfect person to play Tony Stark. It's one of those roles where it's like, I couldn't see anybody else doing this. Okay? It would be a completely different person. And Iron Man had came out. Elon Musk. Google Elon Musk when he was running PayPal. Okay? Dork. Fucking dork. Okay? Listen. And I have nothing wrong with dorks. I have nothing wrong. I'm a secret dork. Okay? I am. I love StarCraft. I love Call of Duty. I'll watch just fucking videos of people playing the game. Okay? Granted, I'd picked up this old addiction again since the pandy. So thanks a lot, Obama. Thanks a lot, China. Whoever's to blame. But Elon Musk was a dork. A dorky dork that looked like he picked his boogers and would just put them on the window and be like, I'm running a science experiment. And you know how I know he's a dork? Look at his wife. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with it. She's a dork. She's always doing cosplay and anime. You know what Elon Musk would have been? He would have been that weird kid cuddling too much with his girlfriend under a tree at high school. Remember, I was always kind of like the Goths and like the outsider group, and they would just always be doing weird shit together. They were a hypersexual group. Like the Goth community, very hypersexual. I mean, like you would just walk by during lunch, you'd go through the wrong quad, and it was like you stepped into the goddamn elephant graveyard. And there would just be some goth kids laying there on the floor doing God knows what under those oversized hoodies. Just smelled like fun like Funyuns and fucking honey buns and hot dog water walking through the fucking 200 quad. I don't even know if that was the right quad. But those goth kids, they didn't go to Sunday school. They weren't having anybody tell them not to masturbate. But they didn't need to masturbate because they were just masturbating each other, okay? No one got down like the goth kids in high school. No one. I remember this one girl I was friends with her in English. I was always, I'm sorry, I have COVID, people. I don't really, but since I mentioned it now, the podcast is going to get flagged. There was a goth girl in my English class. I've always loved talking to anybody, any walk of life. I'll talk to you, okay? I want to get to know what makes your willy tingle, okay? And she was always writing, and I remember I'd be like, oh, is this for school or what? She's like, no, I do a lot of creative writing on my own. And anytime anybody in high school, whatever they did, I always was interested in what people were doing if it was creative. They were writers, music, painting, whatever it was. I'd always want to see their work. So I asked her, I go, hey, can I read it? And she's apprehensive. She's like, I'm like, it's okay if you don't want to show me, but I just want to, see your work. She goes, okay, just so you know, it's a little racy. And I was like, okay. And there's a white girl. I'm like, I mean, racy like racist? Because might have to turn you in. I start reading it. This girl is writing the most passionate fucking word porn I've ever seen in my life to this day. And maybe just because I've never really gone and looked for it. It was the steamiest, descriptive stories ever. She was literally writing fucking porn for blind, I guess it wasn't blind people. Well, fuck, that doesn't work. She was writing porn for people who couldn't get their hands on porn. That's what it was. I remember there's a word in there, a crisp nipple. I was like, you're a goddamn artist. Fucking sitting next to Goth Hemingway over here, writing a crisp nipple and shit. I remember being 16, reading this, and then just being like, well, I can't stand up now. I got a fresh boner, okay? And it's your fault, lady, okay? You can't even fight it at that age. It just is what it is. You know what it is? At 16, getting a boner is a lot like fucking having a dog that runs away. No matter what. If it gets like in the front yard, it just goes, it's gone forever. It's like my dog, Cooney, that I have at my parents'. That dog is the sweetest dog, listens great inside, sits, knows, loves to cuddle. That thing gets in the front yard and it's fucking fairy dust. It never existed. And not only that, it's disrespectful because it will start running and you're like, Cooney, come back. Acts like it doesn't know you. Acts like you're not breaking your back to buy dog food for it, taking it to the vet. I don't need to get you fucking shots. Okay? I don't need to get you haircuts and get a little fucking bow in your hair. I do that because I love you. Let you sleep in the bed. I'll cuddle with you. Console you when you're scared. But you get in the goddamn front yard. And it's like we never met. It's like we never met. And not only that, she doesn't even acknowledge that you're a person. She doesn't even acknowledge you, that you're even there. It's as if you're in some fucking shadow realm watching her and are just like, Cooney. I'm all around you. Why can't you hear me? Just gone with the wind. That's what it's like getting a boner when you're 16 years old. Okay, you just are like, well, no. Come back. Gone. Off to the races. And it's just sitting there like, what are we doing, champ? We hitting 4 today? What are we doing, huh? Getting one in that school. I like it. Efficiency. Optimized. I'm here to work, boss. Anyway, Elon Musk. Elon Musk got pigeonholed into this position of being this super cool Tony Stark character because he got some fucking hair implants and got a stylist. But Elon Musk, I see you for who you are, okay? Be who you are. Because everybody likes to pretend he's this super cool Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark, when really he's the dude who invented PayPal. The guy who flicks boogers on the windows just to see which one reaches the bottom first. Okay? Names his kid some fucking code name. I forget what it was. AQN, QAnon. Huh? What? Antifa? What? Great, podcast just got flagged again. But I recently saw his wife. And listen, I'm not making fun of them. I think families are sacred. I never want to go at anybody's family personally, nothing like that. She's a public figure. She's a music artist. She's pop culture. But I'm like, these are who match up, you know? And it's great. There's someone out there for everyone. But I feel like I'm taking crazy pills when people think Elon Musk is like the savior of the known universe. The man is pumping up Dogecoin. And everybody's just like, buy Doge, buy it. What does Doge do? Nothing. Why are we buying it? Elon! Joe Rogan's so impressed with him because he takes a long time to think before he answers you. That's the thing. Is when Elon Musk is waiting to answer a question, he just goes, You know what would happen if you were in a regular conversation with someone who did that? Be like, hey, dude, what's going on? You good? You good? Because all I asked you was how your day's going. Well, it's hard to put this into words, but how is anybody's day going? It's kind of something that you kind of got to think about, because like, is your day going? Is it going, or has it went? Because depending on the time of the day, there's an argument for being that the day is pretty much gone. It's 5 o'clock. In a lot of places in the world, it's nighttime. In some, it's the middle of the night, you know? And I tried to warn them that the robots are coming. It's like Elon Musk is he's not who everybody thinks he is. And here's the great part. I love who Elon Musk really is. But be yourself, Elon, okay? Be yourself. Pumping up Dogecoin. I mean, people went broke because of that, Elon. Everybody went broke. Speaking of Bitcoin, dude, Bitcoin is coming back again. I forgot there was like a rumor. This is what's crazy, because honestly, like, I'm in the know a little bit with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I've been in the game since like 2017. I learned the hard way in 2018, where I lost quite a bit of money. Okay, money's came back. I'm good. I'm still invested, but I'm not one of these people. Bitcoin is like fucking a pyramid scheme for men. It's like the Mary Kay of cryptocurrency, because everybody just wants everybody to get involved with it and put their entire life savings in it. And when they lose everything, there's like, just hold the dip, bro. And you're like, what does that mean? HODL. I don't really know myself, but I saw it on Reddit. Elon Musk pumped up Doge, so we should probably jump on that. And like, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. You try to ask somebody who's trying to get you into cryptocurrency. People are just like, hey man, you're going to want to get in now. And they're like, oh, you got 20,000 in your savings, life saving? Put that all in there right now. I'm like, what is it going to become? Internet monopoly money. Well, can I buy anything with it? Some stuff. You could buy like obscure random things from Japan with it, you know? Well, what if it dips? Well, just hold the dip, you know? You can take your fucking real money and buy internet money with it. Fucking do it, right? Sounds pretty cool. They try to scare you. Decentralized currency. The dollar is going to zero. Hey, fucking Snowden, relax. Okay? Like Elon Musk is going to make it the currency on Mars. Watch this grainy YouTube video about it. Watch this Reddit AMA with guys who are 23 drinking fucking Mountain Dew, talking about cryptocurrency. Fuck out of my face. But I keep a little bit of Bitcoin just in case these fucking dorks are right about this shit. What else is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Oh yeah. Gonna get kicked off the planet for going after Elon Musk. Oh yeah. It's probably gonna happen. Elon's gonna be like, well, he's gonna watch this video clip and he's gonna go, well, Evan, here's the thing. I don't think you should be on this planet. A lot of people don't know that I actually have hair plugs and that I was going bald. And the thing about the boogers, and you know, I make great music. My wife makes great music. And I just don't think you should be on the same planet as that. He did have a hit, though. Do you guys remember Elon Musk's song? What was it? Don't stop your vibe. Don't stop your vibe. A lot of changes in the world, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of weird stuff happening. Listen, just saw yesterday. It's starting to get weird again. And I feel like it's my fault with the pandemic, if I'm being honest with you. I feel like it's my fault that things are getting, coronavirus is ramping up. Because I was sitting there with my fiance and I randomly just go, man, like I had spent about 2 to 3 weeks without even, like probably 2 weeks without even thinking about coronavirus. I didn't even think about it. I went about my life everywhere. It's normal. Didn't even think about it. And I said that and I was like, it just feels like, wow, like it feels over for us. And maybe that's because we're in Texas. And then all of a sudden, COVID, back on the rise again. Delta Dawn, what's that variant you got on? Could it be you're more infectious to me? Bars, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, that's off the top of the dome. Delta came along and just say, hey, yeah, that's cool. You're starting to get back to regular life. Buck that shit up. Now we have it with the CDC changing the mask guidelines that people, even if you're vaccinated, need to start wearing masks indoors again. Hey, that's a funny way to say that the vaccines don't work. Isn't it? That they're not as efficient as you thought they would be. It's crazy to me how this is getting. I saw something about how Biden tomorrow, whether he knows it or not, or he'll probably won't even know the day after tomorrow what happened tomorrow, said that they're going to mandate vaccines for federal employees. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going into a weird place in the world. And maybe this is something that happens to countries with time. America is the greatest experiment of all time of free will and liberty and justice for all. But all these older countries, they're a little more communist, okay? People want to complain. People want to protest at the Olympics and make these big stances without realizing the irony that you're in competition as an American with all these other countries that wish they have the liberties and freedoms that we have in America. Every country has a bad past, things that we're not proud of. That's progress. What's beautiful is looking at all the progress that we have made, all the things that have changed in our country that have gotten so much better. People don't want to look at that. They want to look at just the bad shit that's happened here. And I feel like we're getting to a weird place where we have unvaccinated and vaccinated and people being pinned against each other. The beautiful thing that we have to think of, and this is something that I try to put through the filter every time, whether I have friends, people who are posting things that I don't agree with, that I realize that, they don't understand what they're posting. They're supporting something that goes against liberty and justice for all. And it's just this idea, I don't know what happened to my body, my choice. The my body, my choice people got real quiet. But also, I look at the people who make these decisions and things that I don't agree with, and I run it through the filter that a lot of times they're trying to do what's right. And that's the beautiful thing, is I think it's just misguided judgment. And I could be saying that for myself. Listen, that's why I don't give any caveats. It is a caveat. My apologies. I always can be wrong. And if I have new information, I can change my opinion. Who knows? In 5-10 years, I might be fucking supporting Mother Russia. I might be like, hey, this communism thing isn't that bad. Not going to happen. Not in this goddamn American free state that I live in. Texas. Woo-wee! I'll tell you what, people. I'm thriving here. I was born for Texas, is what every California says when they first moved to Texas, I bet. But I look at things as people are trying to do the best that they can in a lot of ways. Even a lot of people are trying to cancel people, all this stuff. They're trying to do what they think is right. And I don't think they realize how dangerous. That's why I have principles. I have principles when it starts becoming mandated vaccines and shit like this. A mandated vaccine with something such a small, with such a huge survival rate, the vulnerable people are supposed to be getting vaccinated. That was the whole play. The reason why I did quarantine for an entire year, I gave up so much shit just to do my part until we got a vaccine. And then once the vaccine comes out, your boy's living life again. Okay? And even with the survival rate and everything like that, it is what it is at this point. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? It is what it is. It is what it is because it is what it is. And at the end of the day, I am who I am because I am who I am. But the CDC changing mask guidelines, if anything, it makes it interesting, and it makes me wonder, like, where do we go now? We're obviously not going back to quarantine. We have to figure out something else. And I don't know. I'm not a doctor at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I am who I am because I am who I am. I wanted to talk about this because this is something that I've seen quite a few times. It's no joke or no secret. No joke, dumb. It's no secret that there is a big comedy boom happening in Austin, Texas. And since I live here and I'm not a household name, I'm not one of these giant comics that moved here. There are obviously, you got Joe Rogan, you got Tom Segura, you have a lot of like the Death Squad people. You have a lot of comedians moving here and they're building a scene. There's a lot of comedians from different parts of the country who aren't here that are speculating on what Austin comedy is. And from someone who has been in California, I would say the biggest hub for successful comedy as a business. And I caveat that by saying that way because I think the two big places, the East Coast, the West Coast, you have New York and you have California, and different goods feeding, filtering systems throughout the country. New York, I think, produces the best pure comedians. You got, you have like Mark Norman, was it Sam Morril? You have, how am I fucking forgetting one of the greatest? Dave Attell, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Attell. I think he is the most underrated East Coast comic. He's known through comedy, but he's what I think is the most pure form of comedy, the way he does it. And I think the West Coast, LA, has monetized comedy much better than the East Coast has. I think the East Coast is just a few years behind. Everybody's catching on now, doing podcasts and everything like that. But I think the flip side is California focused a lot on podcasts and growing the business and touring and everything like that. The East Coast got so much more stage time, more opportunities, really developed the craft of stand-up comedy. And I think what's happening in Austin, because people are acting, I think it's a little sense of maybe jealousy of not being there. I don't know, but I think it's also, you're speculating, and when you speculate on something you just don't know about, it you can make assumptions that aren't true. But being here in stand-up, in Austin doing stand-up, I think that a great scene is being built here. The one thing that I see as a more green comedian who's still on the way up is that I see a lot more opportunities. I get much more stage time here and opportunities than I did in California, because at a lower level, you're fighting for stage time. Sometimes you're performing just for comedians, and there's not a lot of opportunities, not a lot of nights, depending on where you're at, to go do it. And if you're in LA or something, some of those nights were brutal, where you're paying $5 to $10 just to do comedy for comedians who aren't really paying attention. So LA is cool for connections and opportunity and the grind of the Comedy Store. But you could come to Austin as a newer comedian and get a lot of opportunities. It's a great scene. And the one thing I love is there's very good comedians here. It attracted a lot of people who really love comedy and want to do, to push the art form. So it's making me get better as a comedian. It's making me push everything that I'm doing. It's making me push the podcast. It's making me push my jokes. I have to level up to even compete, So I love it. So I think Austin is a great opportunity for newer comedians. There's a lot of people who are saying this, like, if you're not an established comic, you're wasting your time going to Austin. I don't believe that at all, because I'm seeing all the opportunities available. People who are here, comedians, might be like, oh, there's so many people at these mics and everything like that. Dude, it's nothing compared to LA. It's nothing compared to LA. The amount of people that would show up at the Improv 3 hours before just to do a raffle for an opportunity to do like 3 or 4 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. But everything has its peaks and valleys, and that's just something I want to touch on, because I've been seeing it, and I've been having a conversation a lot with comics about that. And it's something I find fascinating. It does feel like a great place to start. If you, maybe you've started already and you moved to Austin. I mean, you could start here, but I don't think it's just for a starting comedian. And it's a great opportunity because of the cost of living. Prices are going up, but you could come to Texas and start building a life and not be, in a fucking studio apartment with 3 other comics paying $600 each, just to survive. You're going to be able to have a little more quality of life, and there's a lot of opportunities. So I love it. That's my, I've been here for almost 4 months. I love it here. I think it's great opportunities. And I'll report back after like a year. We'll see what happens. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the podcast. I love you guys. Youth Pastor Evan says, don't masturbate, okay, before it's too late. If you haven't liked, comment, subscribed on the podcast, feel free to do that. Watch it on YouTube. I'm actually starting a new segment where I take these episodes and I compile it down to only 7 minutes. And those will be titled Just 7 Minutes in Evan, with the episode title on YouTube, available under podcast clips if you search Evan Lopez. Just for the people who don't have time to listen to the whole episode. Okay, I get it. You just want the highlights. You want the hits. I'll do what I can, baby. I understand the grind, the hustle. Hashtag Gary V. Hashtag not wearing a beanie right. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for supporting this episode. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Remember, no matter what, I still love you.